Now at 9, 2 more suspects are arrested, and this time murder charges filed in the Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. Plus, a Barton County group meets to create a plan to preserve the more than 75 cemeteries in the county. And we'll meet a set of twins who are both Joplin Elementary teachers, making their students and peers see double.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. 2 more suspects are charged in the Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. This time it's adults, and the charge is murder. The 2 suspects are Lyndall Mays of Raytown and Dominic Miller of Kansas City. We do not yet have Miller's mugshot. Authorities say the 2 men have been hospitalized since the shooting that killed 1 woman and injured 22 others, but investigators did not say whether the men had gunshot wounds or other injuries. They each face a second-degree murder charge, among other charges. Investigators believe the men did not know each other before the shooting. Authorities say gunfire erupted after an argument, and these suspects are in addition to 2 juveniles arrested on gun-related and resisting arrest charges. Authorities say more charges are possible. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another nice one for us today. Temperature is fantastic. Look at our highs pushing 70 degrees, 69, the record 78, normal highs 52 degrees, so good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. We're gonna have another mild one as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. Southeasterly winds, temperatures, most of us are kind of hovering into the mid 50s. We'll only drop back into the upper 40s a little bit later on tonight. Southerly wind kind of keeping our temp up just a little bit, and these are going to kind of pick up for us a bit tomorrow. So it is going to be breezy on your Wednesday. It's going to be breezy on your Thursday as well. Clear skies. We are going to get some mid and upper level clouds starting to increase later on tonight with our next storm system, which is building the western third of the country. And this is going to give us some scattered thunderstorms by tomorrow night. Of course, we're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A Barton County, Missouri organization today held a meeting to discuss the preservation of at-risk and abandoned cemeteries in the county. Not Forgotten Barton County Cemeteries takes care of more than 75 cemeteries. Today's meeting at Memorial Hall in Lamar was a chance for residents to learn about the group and how they.
Large group of people who are passionate about this cause, and they've come together to talk about their needs and the things that they can share and support each other with in terms of resources and ideas for preserving and maintaining the cemeteries of Barton County.
But just everybody work together, because this is history. It means something, because if it wasn't for the ones that's 800 years ago, whatever, it's Lamar wouldn't be here.
The group will be hosting a work day at Minden Mines Cemetery on Saturday, March 9th. Students at Liberal High School in Missouri got a chance to get behind the wheel and simulate impaired driving. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The Arrive Alive tour made a stop in Liberal, Missouri to show students how difficult it is to drive while impaired.
Yeah, this is a little more in depth. We use some state-of-the-art equipment to be able to, we allow the car to turn in place with the 2 pads that we have the front wheels on. And then there's a cable running from one of them back to the laptop that allows me to manipulate the level of blood alcohol content or the THC setting that they're on.
From freshmen to seniors, students got behind the wheel.
It overcorrected a lot, so if I went a little bit left, it would go super far left, and then it was just hard to know which way I was going and how much to move the steering wheel and how fast to go and stuff.
This is the first time the Arrive Alive tour stopped at Liberal High School. The school's counselor says this is a perfect learning opportunity.
And they all have the mentality of it's not going to happen to me, or I can do that. I'm a really good driver. I can be on my phone and I won't have any consequences. It'll be great.
I hit a house super easily, and it was weird. I couldn't really control at all what I was doing.
Although the students understand that this is a simulation, they understand if they do this in real life, the consequences are very realistic.
I mean, I'd probably go to jail for quite a while.
It's kind of fulfilling when you hear a kid get out of the vehicle and say, well, I'm never going to do that again.
Reporting in Liberal, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The simulation is paid through grants at no cost to the school. It was all business for Allen Community College students today in Iola, Kansas. The school hosted the second annual Allen Entrepreneurship Challenge. The competition challenged Allen Community College students to present their business ideas to a group of local judges. Event organizers tried to prepare students for various business scenarios.
And so we really try to reach out to different parts of the business industry, HR and business owners and management and legal. And so we try to cover all the bases that students, when they create a business, they'll need to be thinking of.
The competition also awarded 3 prizes and cash, $750 for first place, $500 for second, and $250 for third. 2 first-year elementary school teachers in Joplin have their students and peers seeing double. KOAM's Anthony Saviello sat down with sisters Reagan and Madison Fowler to learn more about their unique relationship.
Don't worry, your mind isn't playing tricks on you.
Who's older?
Me. Madison.
Madison and Reagan Fowler are twin sisters who both teach in the Joplin School District.
Maddie is my teammate, and she always will be, and it's even hard for me to describe our relationship to even my parents, because although they love their children so much, they almost don't share what Maddie and I share because they don't have a twin. So it's almost a very hard relationship to even explain.
Teaching is only the latest adventure these two have gone on.
We took all the same classes together, every single one. We went into college thinking like we didn't know what we wanted to do, but we felt like at year in, the path was paid for us from the beginning, and we just had to follow it. And so we completed our classes, we graduated together, we were both cheerleaders on the same team, we were both on the same sorority. I mean, we have done everything together.
From the start, these two have been inseparable. They have created a relationship that's as special as it is rare.
We experience everything that every other person experiences individually. We experience that together. So when it comes down to as little as the trends going on, or the turning 16, driving for the first time, prom, yes, turning 18, moving to college, we have never really experienced those things by ourselves. It's always been together. So we're able to relate to each other and come back to each other.
They have their differences.
What's your favorite food?
Mexican. Oh. I'm gonna have to say Chinese.
But agree on most things.
What's your favorite animal?
Wiener dog.
It's a good thing these two teach at different schools, because having these two run amok has students and teachers raising an eyebrow at Miss Fowler.
People will call me Madison and she'll get called Reagan. And we've gotten to the point where we answer to either, because honestly it's a compliment to us at this point, because I love Maddie. So if people want to think I'm Maddie, that's fine. And I asked my mom the other day, I said, do we still look alike as we get older? And she was like, oh yes. And I said, okay, good, because I get worried about it sometimes. But we all 4 look alike. So I think we just have strong genetics, and that just helped us be fraternal but identical twins.
Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, Reagan and Madison say that matching their outfits is not a rare occasion. In fact, the two try to match as often as possible. Well, popular applesauce pouches were recently recalled for lead contamination. Coming up, the importance of testing children for lead poisoning. A recent recall of certain food products is sparking fears of health risk in young children. Fox's Ted Linder reports on how children could be exposed to lead and the steps you can take to protect your family.
Health experts are warning families to be on the lookout for a toxic metal that could cause serious health problems in children. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says children can be exposed to high levels of lead in their daily lives.
There are concerns that it might alter their developing central nervous system, and they might present with learning disabilities.
When someone is exposed to high levels of lead, it could cause blood conditions such as anemia or behavioral difficulties such as struggling to pay attention in class. The CDC says children under the age of 6 are the most at risk because their bodies are still developing and they're more likely to touch objects that could be contaminated. According to Jennifer Freeman of Purdue University, a child's living environment could be putting them in harm's way.
Today, the most common sources of lead exposure in the United States occur in older homes. There's also a concern due to the plumbing fixtures that might be used in your home.
Freeman is urging families to test their faucets and wall paint. Meanwhile, the Food and Drug Administration is warning consumers of another product that could contain lead. Since October, the agency reports a total of 422 probable, confirmed, and suspected cases of lead poisoning in applesauce products from Wanabana, Schnucks, and Wise.
The best way to protect yourself is if you have a young child that's 6 years of age or younger, is to get their blood tested to figure out if they might have an elevated level of lead in their blood.
Freeman adds a healthy diet that is high in iron and calcium can help prevent lead exposure and anemia in children. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
A large new study finds a link between taking prescribed opioids and an increased risk of serious falls. Researchers in Australia found a heightened risk among adults of all ages, but people 85 and older were at greatest risk. Women may benefit more from exercising than men. A new study supported by the National Institutes of Health found women who worked out regularly lowered their risk of premature death by 24%, while men who did the same had a 15% lower risk. The difference was even greater when it came to fatal heart attacks. The study authors suggest variations in anatomy and physiology may account for the differences. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, McDonald County High School hosts a special send-off as the wrestling team heads to state.
Midwest.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice one for us today. Temperatures fantastic, upper 60s to near 70 degrees for most of us. And it looks pretty good right now. Our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam downtown. We're looking through off toward the north and to the east. You can see the flags blowing just a bit, so we have a light southerly wind, and we're going to continue to see that as we go through the overnight hours tonight and then again tomorrow. All right, temperatures, most of us are kind of hovering into low to mid 50s. We'll drop back mid 40s a little bit later on tonight. Southerly winds kicking in. These are fairly light, but these are going to pick up a bit as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. We'll have gusts kind of in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range by tomorrow evening. And then they'll switch around out of the north by Thursday, but still kind of breezy with those northerly winds gusting 15, 20 upwards to 25 miles per hour. All right, pretty much clear skies. Not a whole bunch is going on here. We are going to start to see some mid and upper level clouds increasing ahead of our next storm system. The western third of the country, fairly strong system. This wave kind of flattens out as it pushes through, but we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms from it as it heads toward us by tomorrow night. It's not going to be widespread, very scattered. All right, clouds increase by morning, mid to upper 40s. We warm quickly, upper 60s by noon. Can see a lot of clouds. As we get into the afternoon, check this out. 73 in Stockton, Anderson, Bentonville, 75. Miami, Veneta, 77, 72 up in Chanute. So fairly warm, actually. Tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms start to pop up. Look at the time. It's after 10, 11, midnight. These are mainly going to be along and north of I-44. Scattered, strong thunderstorms, could even be low-grade severe, push through. Here's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then by Thursday morning, we'll have some leftover sprinkles, and then we look pretty good as we go through the rest of the day. Northerly winds, temperatures, a little bit cooler, but still not bad. Highs into the mid-60s. All right, low severe threat tomorrow night, level 1 out of 5. Main threats are going to be hail. These are elevated storms, so not really a tornado threat from 10 p.m. until about 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning. Day planner for you tomorrow, 50 to start, 65 by noon. Look at our high temp, up to 74 degrees. Now, of course, we cool down a little bit Thursday, but still, look at these temperatures. We stay into the 60s on Friday, even into the weekend we stay into the 60s, push 70 by the time we head into Sunday. 74 tomorrow, 64 Thursday, 62 on Friday, back to 71 degrees by Sunday. Thunderstorm chances again by next Tuesday.
Well, you can't beat these temperatures, so just keep on bringing them, Doug. Keep on bringing them. Well, coming up, a new tool for the bosses.
Big Brother is coming with you to work. Employers are now using AI to keep tabs on their employees. I'm Madison Allworth with Fox Business. I'll have the details coming up.
Capital One is acquiring Discover Financial Services in a deal that would create the country's 6th largest bank. The $35 billion all-stock deal would give Capital One shareholders 60% of the merged company, while Discover shareholders would get the other 40%. Once finalized, the acquisition is expected to face tough antitrust scrutiny from federal officials. Walmart is buying TV maker Vizio for $2.3 billion. The move is aimed at shoring up its advertising business and creating a more potent rival to Amazon. Walmart believes it can use Vizio to sell ads for products on Vizio's popular smart TVs. The retail giant's media and advertising arm, called Walmart Connect, grew 30% last year. However, advertising makes up only a fraction of Walmart's business. It's more like undercover boss than Big Brother. Some employers are using AI to snoop on their staff. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth has the details.
AI might be helping your employer analyze and read your messages on popular work apps. There is a growing trend of company using tools like the AI startup Aware to monitor company communication. Aware says 90% of their clients use their AI for e-discovery, so essentially to monitor for speech that creates legal risk. The other portion of their business can read employee sentiment in real time. Companies like Delta use the tool for both legal purposes and to assess sentiment. Some of the apps this new software might be used on include Slack, Microsoft Teams, Workplace, or Zoom, monitoring as messages are sent back and forth.
I would feel like, I don't know, like they're just trying to get something out of me and get me in trouble or something.
I'm fine with it because I'm very watchful of what I do on company time.
It's so flawed and so messed up that I just think it wouldn't be a useful investment of anyone's time or money.
Now, when it comes to Aware, the CEO tells Fox Business, quote, "We believe that fostering a positive, safe, and legally compliant work environment is not only the right thing to do, it's also smart business. And AI helps us do it better at scale and with respect to privacy." AI is now assessing billions of messages across millions of employees. You could be one of them. In New York, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Well, Bitcoin is back. The value of the world's most popular cryptocurrency has more than tripled to $52,000 since November of 2022. As a result, that pushed it past the market value of $1 trillion for the first time since its heyday in 2021. That's according to data from CoinMarketCap. However, it still remains below from its all-time high of $69,000, which was reached in November of 2021. He's already met some of the biggest names in sports. Up next, we meet an 11-year-old boy who's making a name for himself as a sports journalist. A young sports reporter from Las Vegas is making waves with his work and picking up some fans of his own. 11-year-old Jeremiah Fennell has already scored interviews with big names, including Vice President Harris, Brock Purdy, and Michael Phelps. Earlier this month, he spoke with Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce ahead of the team's Super Bowl win. On CBS Mornings, the fifth grader discussed how being born with brain abnormalities and a love of sports helped shape his path.
I played sports, but I couldn't play contact sports. So I could play like tennis, but I couldn't play football.
Yeah.
So I did play flag football, which doesn't count. I played basketball.
It doesn't count. Yes, it counts.
I played basketball, and I played t-ball. So I played those. But then after I played those, the doctor said, even though we said he can't play contact sports, he just shouldn't play sports.
Sports at all.
So yeah, after that, I decided to go into journalism and said, the people.
Not a bad choice. Fennell is just getting started. He says he hopes to interview Tom Brady and LeBron James in the future. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Police in Parsons, Kansas meet with a local congressman to discuss the challenges facing law enforcement. Plus, when Congress returns from its break, lawmakers will consider at least 4 bills aimed at funding border security and foreign aid.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Parsons, Kansas Police Department today held a discussion on the challenges facing local law enforcement. They were joined by Congressman Jake LaTurner. Parsons Police Chief Robert Spinks also gave LaTurner a tour of the site of a proposed public safety center. City officials hope LaTurner can help them secure partial funding to build the cutting-edge facility.
Law enforcement is stepping up to the plate. This center will be helpful with recruitment for new officers, new folks going into the fire department as well. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to learn more. I'm glad to be a part of it.
The proposed public safety center would create a centralized location for both the Parsons Police and fire departments. The Parsons Police Department also broke ground on new virtual ground today, that is, with a cutting-edge training simulator. Officer Tyler White became the first officer to test the simulator. The police department hopes the high-tech tool will enhance officer skills and readiness on the job.
A lot of issues relative to police use of force, making sure that the policing profession, evolves in a guardian mentality, not just an enforcement mentality. And maybe the best way to do that is not always with just more laws. Maybe it's about training law enforcement better.
Parsons PD used a federal grant to purchase the simulator. There are now at least 4 different versions of a bill that would increase security at the southern border in exchange for billions of dollars of desperately needed aid for Ukraine. Fox News correspondent Asia Hasney has more from Capitol Hill.
Congress is out all week, but lawmakers can't escape pressure to send aid to Ukraine. The White House is now blaming congressional inaction for recent losses on the battlefield. So far, there's no indication the House will take up the bipartisan Senate package, but moderate Republicans aren't giving up. They're pushing a slimmed-down alternative, bringing back border provisions like Remain in Mexico, while sending $66 billion in military aid to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. The bill is only 30 pages long. Supporters believe that will make it more immune to criticism, as they say it's time to act.
Especially with the murder of Alexei Navalny, I think everyone is recognizing that we need to act.
But that's not enough to win over some skeptical conservatives who say they want more assurances the number of migrants allowed to cross the border will go down significantly.
It's not enough just to put the provisions in place. You got to have specific requirements attached to it to force Biden to say, we're going to limit the numbers to something reasonable.
There are also at least 2 other groups working on their own alternatives, while Democrat leaders are still calling for Speaker Mike Johnson to take up the Senate version.
What the last few days have shown us is that doing nothing is not only bad policy for America, it's bad politics for Republicans.
There's also been talk of going around Speaker Johnson and forcing a vote on one or more of these bills, but that wouldn't happen until the House returns next week. On Capitol Hill, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
Well, Nikki Haley is resisting calls to drop out of the race for the Republican presidential nomination. The former South Carolina governor told supporters she plans to stay in the race, even as polls show her trailing former President Donald Trump by more than 30 points in her home state, just days before South Carolina's primary. Haley says she will continue her campaign at least through Super Tuesday on March 5th, when another 20 states vote. House leaders have launched a bipartisan task force on artificial intelligence. In a joint statement, Speaker Mike Johnson and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has said the committee will explore how Congress can ensure Americans continue to lead the world in AI innovation. The group will also protect the nation from current and emerging threats. The Democrats and Republicans have each appointed 12 members to the task force. A bit later, how some senior citizens are finding new joy through the use of virtual reality.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice one for us today. Temperatures fantastic, upper 60s to near 70 degrees for most of us. And it looks pretty good right now. Our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam downtown. We're looking through off toward the north and to the east. You can see the flags blowing just a bit. So we have a light southerly wind, and we're going to continue to see that as we go through the overnight hours tonight and then again tomorrow. All right, temperatures, most of us are kind of hovering into low to mid 50s. We'll drop back mid 40s a little bit later on tonight. Southerly winds kicking in. These are fairly light, but these are going to pick up a bit as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. We'll have gusts kind of in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range by tomorrow evening. And then they'll switch around out of the north by Thursday, but still kind of breezy with those northerly winds gusting 15, 20 upwards to 25 miles per hour. All right, pretty much clear skies. Not a whole bunch is going on here. We are going to start to see some mid and upper level clouds increasing ahead of our next storm system, the western third of the country. Fairly strong system. This wave kind of flattens out as it pushes through, but we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms from it as it heads toward us by tomorrow night. It's not going to be widespread, very scattered. All right, clouds increase by morning, mid to upper 40s. We warm quickly, upper 60s by noon. Can see a lot of clouds. As we get into the afternoon, check this out. 73 in Stockton, Anderson, Bentonville, 75. Miami, Veneta, 77, 72 up in Chanute. So fairly warm, actually. Tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms start to pop up. Look at the time. It's after 10, 11, midnight. These are mainly going to be along and north of I-44. Scattered, strong thunderstorms, could even be low-grade severe, push through. Here's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then by Thursday morning, we'll have some leftover sprinkles, and then we look pretty good as we go through the rest of the day. Northerly winds, temperatures, a little bit cooler, but still not bad. Highs into the mid-60s. All right, low severe threat tomorrow night, level 1 out of 5. Main threats are going to be hail. These are elevated storms, so not really a tornado threat from 10 p.m. until about 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning. Day planner for you tomorrow, 50 to start, 65 by noon. Look at our high temp, up to 74 degrees. Now, of course, we cool down a little bit Thursday, but still, look at these temperatures. We stay into the 60s on Friday, even into the weekend we stay into the 60s, push 70 by the time we head into Sunday. 74 tomorrow, 64 Thursday, 62 on Friday, back to 71 degrees by Sunday. Thunderstorm chances again by next Tuesday.
Well, we'll just enjoy these temperatures while they stick around. Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, McDonald County High School sends several wrestlers to state. Plus, Girard girls basketball tries to end Colgan's undefeated season on senior night. John Dales has highlights from that and more up next.
Throughout the week, several of our local high schools celebrate their wrestling teams by having a special send-off for athletes qualifying for the state championships. This morning, McDonald County does so and celebrates making some history. The Mustang wrestling team sends 6 boys to the state championships in Columbia, and for the first time in school history, McDonald County will send a female wrestler to state. In fact, 3 of them. They are proud of everything they've accomplished just to get to this point and looking forward to finishing the season on a high note.
Most of what made the season special is how we made history. We broke several records this year. I know I broke the record for most wins in a season and most takedowns in a season. Angelica broke the record for most takedowns in a season. We've all broken several records this year, made it to state. We've made history, so that's made it a very, very special season. Most of our goal was to make it to the state tournament this year. Now that we've done that, our goal, obviously work hard, but to have fun, to enjoy the experience.
Over to high school basketball, 2 of our local schools have senior night this evening. That includes Girard, who hosts Colgan. Now, the Lady Trojans are the closest ones to beating Colgan this year. Nobody's come within 20 points of the Panthers, except for Girard, who lost by 2 when they met a month ago. Senior night in Girard. Lady Trojans hoping to spring an upset on undefeated Colgan. Lady Panthers came ready to play. Early second quarter, Delaney Meek dials up a 3 from the wing and connects. Colgan jumps out to an 18-4 lead. Girard doing its best to stem the tide. Aiden Buckley pulls the trigger from the corner. She hits a 3, lead cut down to 13. Now, Lily Brown was face guarded most of the night. That leaves other Colgan teammates open, like Lauren O'Brien, who smashes home a 3. Panthers up 17 at halftime. Back to Lily Brown, though. You can try to keep her quiet. Nearly impossible to stop her altogether. She hits this layup off a beautiful backdoor feed from Meek. Then Brown gets hit on the arm, still converts the bucket plus the foul. Colgan dominates on the road. The Lady Panthers are undefeated CNC League champions. Girard boys basketball trying to avenge a 25-point road loss to Colgan just last month. Trojans come out firing on all cylinders on senior night. Aiden Troike left open from beyond the arc. He buries the 3. Girard up quickly by 4. Colgan begins very cold from the fields. Tucker Harrell on a dribble pull-up gets that jumper to fall. He scores 6 of their first 7 points. But Troike goes right at Harrell on the other end. Senior on senior. It leads to 2 more Girard points. Trojans up by 5. The freshman Cam Smith left open from beyond the arc. He hits. Stretches the lead up to 8. Then the Trojans on the fast break. Smith finds fellow freshman Ben Cullen. He finishes through the contact. He would add 1 more at the line. Girard hands Colgan its worst loss of the season. The Trojans win big on senior night, 50-29. Over to Southwest Missouri. Webb City boys basketball spoils Carl Junction's senior night. Cardinals win 74-57 on the road. 4 different Webb City players finish the game with double-figure point totals, including Baron Duda with a game-high 19. Holton Keith has 18. The Cardinals have their senior night against East Newton on Thursday. Back to Colgan and Girard, though. Kind of interesting. The Colgan girls team, I think they might have felt a little disrespected maybe after Girard's the only team that played within 20 points of them all year. They come out tonight and they say, you know what, we'll beat you by 20 on your home floor.
Ooh, yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
A lot of senior nights coming up, a
Yes.
lot of very important games for the kids out there. In the next
Yeah,
couple
we're getting
weeks.
down the home stretch. Playoffs starting up this week and next week.
Exciting times. All right, thanks for your coverage.
Of course.
We'll be back with more news after this. Virtual reality devices are taking senior citizens back to familiar places and providing new experiences to improve their emotional and cognitive health. Fox's Ted Linder has details on a new study that promotes the benefits of the technology at senior homes.
Virtual experiences are bringing back real memories for some seniors. A Stanford University survey with the help of virtual reality devices from Mind Immersive shows how the technology can have emotional and social benefits for older users.
Stimulated virtually every area of my brain.
The university surveyed 245 participants between the ages of 65 to 103 at 17 senior communities across the country. Seniors chose from a variety of 7-minute experiences, including parachuting, watching a performance, and playing with pets. The survey shows 80% of respondents had a positive attitude after using the VR device. And 60% say they feel less isolated socially as a result.
It brought back memories of my travels. In others, it brought back memories of my experience growing up on a farm.
Chris Brickler with Mind Immersive says the technology helps users be immersed in a seemingly real experience.
The mind thinks that we're actually close to being in that reality. So that can bring back a tremendous amount of joy, a tremendous amount of memories.
Some senior homes are already using the technology in other areas, such as recalling memories for people with Alzheimer's disease or other dementia. Mind Immersive is also making improvements to the devices based on feedback from older users.
If you throw the rock back about 4 years, this is brand new technology. What's it going to be like in the next 10 as the systems emerge and just get better and better?
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, coming up, how an alligator at the Omaha Zoo managed to swallow $7 worth of change. It's definitely not the kind of diet caretakers wanted for a gator at the Omaha Zoo. Jeannie Moose has the story of how $7 worth of change ended up in an alligator's stomach.
He may look like a happy gator, but his keepers at Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo weren't smiling. They found this x-ray hard to swallow.
How many coins are we talking here? How much money did he eat?
It was about 70 coins that we were able to pull out of his stomach.
The 36-year-old white gator is one of the zoo's stars. Thibodeau, seen here getting his x-ray, had to be fully knocked out with anesthesia to retrieve almost $7 worth of coins using an endoscope with a camera. Here's the before and after.
Did you keep the change?
Yes, so we did keep the change.
But why were all those coins tossed into his enclosure? Ugh, humans are the worst. People are just plain morons.
How can I put this politely? What is wrong with people?
Nebraskans are my family, so again, it's just trying to educate people.
Educate them not to bombard the gators with coins to get them to move, perhaps aiming for their mouths. Who was the idiot that thought an enclosure for animals was a wishing well? Note, this is not a fountain. The fountain's on the right.
3 coins in the fountain.
We're talking 70 coins in the gator, who, by the way, seems fine. Now they're screening and finding coins in 9 other gators as well.
Just one wish will be granted.
And the wish is, keep your dirty pennies and nickels out of my swamp.
They don't need that copper in their diet. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby tamadua at the Nashville Zoo. Aw, have a great night and an even better tomorrow.